Hello and welcome to the Business Dashboard on City TV. My name is Bobby Osei. Coming up, GIPC gets tough on Club 100 shortlist as it pushes for good corporate governance. Also, bankers call for renewed confidence to save banking sector from collapse. And more companies dissociate themselves from former CEO of Capital Bank. Joint receivers of defunct UT Bank insist recent publications on rot won't affect its findings. Details of these stories and others, including exclusive interviews, analysis on the trending business issues, coming up in the next 30 minutes. For our first story, companies hoping to join the Ghana Club 100 list this year would have to ensure that they have fulfilled all regulatory requirements. Now, this is because the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, GIPC, says it will scrutinize companies to ensure they have not flouted any regulatory requirements before awarding them at the 2018 Club 100 Awards. The decision follows the Bank of Ghana's reports, which reveal that some commercial banks have operated against the banking rules. Speaking to City Business News at the launch of this year's Club 100 Awards, Chief Executive of the GIPC, Yofi Grant, says they will work with regulatory bodies to ensure the enlisted companies have clean sheets.
What is happening in the banks today is a positive signaling that there is real regulatory oversight being exercised now. Because if it wasn't there, then some of those infractions must have just passed. But the fact that the Central Bank and the Bank of Ghana has been brave and bold to exercise this regulatory overhang, I think is a very positive signal. And a couple of investors I've spoken to have been very happy with that. That yes, they are doing the right thing and ensuring that people's deposits and the sanctity of the financial system is maintained. So for me, it's a very positive signal. It's unfortunate that it creates a bit of panic in depositors, but as relates to the most recent development of the consolidated bank, I believe that depositors' monies are secure. But it's a good signaling, definitely, because people want to ensure that the rules are maintained, the laws are obeyed, and the right things are done.
Well, turning to the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, it is recording marginal gains in its revenue collection. As such, it is hopeful of meeting its target for the year. For the first 5 months of this year, the government failed to meet the revenue target. This compelled the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, to review the revenue projection downward from 51 to 49.6 billion cedis. The Commissioner General of the GRA, Emmanuel Kofi-Nti, tells City Business News the new tax policy measures should help reverse the trend by the end of the year.
The first 5 months of the year, we were sort of way behind the target, but we are putting additional efforts to ensure that we are able to improve on our target. The month of June was a particular month in which we exceeded our target for that month of June. And so whereas by May ending, we are negative 8.9% from the target, by June we had moved to negative 5.8%. So that we had moved down by a 3.1% drop in just 1 month. And July, we are appearing to be doing well. And our focus is to meet the target. And that's where how we will be marked.
Well, turning to the oil industry, Ghana and Ivory Coast have agreed to implement the ruling of the Special Chamber of the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea, ITLOS, on the maritime dispute between the two countries. The agreement will, among other things, include plotting of the 7 boundary coordinates as stipulated by ITLOS. The Special Chamber of ITLOS in October 2017 ruled in favor of Ghana. Now, the tribunal rejected the argument by Ivory Coast that Ghana's maritime boundaries were unstable. The judgment also indicated that Ghana did not violate the sovereign rights of Ivory Coast in its exploitation of oil in the disputed region. Reading a communique at the end of the second joint committee meeting, the senior minister of Ghana, Yaa Osafo-Maafo, said the agreement had brought finality to the matter.
Ghana indicated at the beginning that it had reviewed the chart with the plotted coordinates of the maritime boundary as provided by ITLOS, submitted by Côte d'Ivoire at the May 2018 meeting in Abidjan, and found it to be acceptable in principle. 2, The parties subsequently jointly plotted the 7 coordinates and the azimuth in accordance with the ITLO's decision, and have agreed to execute a document evidencing the plotted maritime boundary at the next meeting scheduled for October 2018 in Cote d'Ivoire. The parties have also agreed to discuss the draft framework agreement on cooperation in the areas of maritime boundary, hydrocarbons, and other natural resources between the 2 countries at the next meeting in Cote d'Ivoire.
Now, a banking consultant, Nana Otue Champong, has called for renewed confidence in Ghana's banking sector following the recent issues that have led to the collapse of some 5 local banks. According to him, not all local banks have weak corporate governance, high non-performing loans, poor liquidity challenges, among others, like the 5 banks that were consolidated into the Consolidated Bank Ghana Limited. Speaking to City TV, Nana Otue Champong stressed on the need to support local banks and the banking sector in general, since it plays a pivotal role in the country's economic development.
What has happened has happened. There's nothing we can do today that will change what happened yesterday. So we have to accept what's happened, educate ourselves, and move on and restore confidence in the system, because banking is at the core of every financial system. That's why when they had the banking crisis in the US, the government pumped in $890 billion US. Of course, US economy is not the size of Ghanaian economy. When it happened in the UK, every single bank in the UK got government support to survive, apart from Barclays, which refused to take it. So therefore, we should see what is going on as a lesson to be learned. Just putting people in prison doesn't solve the problem. Yes, it sets an example, but right now, what we have to do is to try and, over-rely on the past, move on with the present, and see how we can restore confidence into the banking system, especially for the Ghanaian-owned banks, because unfortunately, the 7 have all been Ghanaian majority shareholding banks. And
you're still watching the Business Dashboard on City TV. When we return after the break, more companies dissociate themselves from the former CEO of Capital Bank. We'll be back with more.
It's engaging, detailed, and loaded with factual and incisive analysis. It's The Big Issue, your preferred Saturday morning news and current affairs analysis program on City TV. Tune in this and every Saturday at 9 a.m. and hear the newsmakers discuss the top issues for the week.
At that time, Charlotte was complete. I'm not defending Charlotte. I'm talking about the way we behave like hypocrites and ostriches in this country. At that time, she was a perfect person.
It's The Big Issue with Stella Madonu on City TV. This and every Saturday at 9 a.m.
Live music, interviews, poetry, and more with your favorite personalities. Be our guest on Saturdays from 2 to 4 p.m. for the most exciting moments on TV. Join Kojo Akoto Boateng for real entertainment right in your living room. Saturday Live on City TV and City 97.3 FM.
You're welcome back to the Business Dashboard on City TV. My name is Bobiose. Let's head to the banking sector for some more stories. Now, another savings and loans company, Commerce Savings and Loans, has denied having any link with embattled former managing director of collapsed Capital Bank, Ato Essien. According to the company, Capital Bank just acted as a clearing bank for commerce from February 2017 until it was taken over by the GCB Bank. There is more in this report.
A statement issued by the solicitors of the company stated categorically that Mr. Essien is not and has never been a related party to Commerce Savings and Loans. The statement follows recent media reports listing Commerce Savings and Loans as one of the companies owned by Mr. Essien. Meanwhile, the management of Nordia Capital has also disassociated itself from Mr. Ato Essien. The company also stated that it only acted as an arranger for the commercial paper issued by MC Management Services and Bridlin Services, with Capital Bank as an investor. It's clarified that the role of the companies played fall within the authorized business of Nordia Capital as an investments banking and assets management firm. Earlier media reports suggested that Mr. Essien injected 65 million cedis into Nordia, hence is one of his numerous companies. But the company refused the
Well, away from that, the joint receivers of defunct UT and Capital Banks, PwC, has ruled out any impact of disclosures on questionable dealings by the former directors and shareholders on its investigations. Documents cited by City Business News have shown that the former shareholders of the two banks engaged in related party transactions, among other unapproved activities, which led to the collapse of the banks. Pius Emir Duku caught up with the country's senior partner for PwC, Vish Ashagbo, and has more in the following report.
According to Vish Ashagbo, his outfit is still pursuing legal processes aimed at recouping as many assets as possible from the defunct banks. He tells City Business News their findings have largely targeted evidence to support instances of infractions.
We as receivers, one of our duties is to recover the assets of the bank to the extent that we can. So we're working through all of that and understanding what evidence is available, and where there's a need for us to take, again, legal action, we will do, and we have already started some of those. So for us, we carry on with our work. Where there's information that adds to what we're doing, so be it. But we are actually following our own independent path and seeking to make as much recovery as we can, whether it's from a former shareholder, from a former director, or a former employee. We, based on the evidence that we have started taking our own processes.
Among the cases of malpractices leveled against the shareholders of UT Bank involved the inability of its former CEO, Prince Kofi Amwabeng, to disclose payment of a loan of 5 million cedis. Also, shareholders of Capital Bank were cited for failing to provide evidence of 51.5 million cedis in illiquid capital after submitting an initial 23.3 million cedis liquid capital when applying for the banking license. Again, the major shareholder of Capital Bank, William Ato Essien, is mentioned as flouting all banking and risk management rules by treating deposited funds and public funds as his personal piggy bank. Mr. Vish Ashagbo wouldn't readily confirm or deny any of such instances in their findings so far, but tells City Business News they would not hesitate to pursue any claim of malpractice.
I'm not sure which comment exactly you're referring to, because there's various things out in the media, and I wouldn't like to mix things up. So all I'll say is that from our point of view, we have seen that certain transactions need to be looked at more closely. We're in the process of that. Some of them we have already looked at, and we've already started legal proceedings to make civil recoveries on some of these cases.
For City Business News, Pius Amehe Eduku.
So, Max International has announced its intentions to expand its operations in Ghana in the supply of health products. Max International is an industry leader in the production of wellness and weight loss supplements and products. The company officially launched its operations in 2014 and has partnered close to 40,000 Ghanaians across the country, with plans to employ an additional 30,000 by 2020. My colleague Anita Arthur was at the airport earlier today when the company's CEO, Joe Voitiki, arrived in Ghana and reports.
The company, which has been operating in Ghana for 4 years now, has now partnered over 39,000 Ghanaians across the country and has also paid over 200 million Ghana cedis as commission to its associates. The company has the aim to empower people around the world to experience better health, success, and significance. Max International Ghana is the producer of enhancement products. After more than 30 years of scientific research, the company had the responsibility of making its products available to improve the quality of lives of people in all parts of the world, including Africa, and also provide an opportunity for the youth to make money by marketing their products. Some of the company's products include Max 1, Max and Fuse, Celgivity, Max GXL, among others, which have the potency of improving mental clarity and focus, and to help the body function at optimal levels by providing essential vitamins and minerals. Speaking to the media on his arrival, the CEO of Max International, Mr. Joe Voitiki, said the company will, by the end of the year, expand its operations in the country.
You know, we will create jobs as people work with us, right? We're going to bring new products to the country. We're going to bring expansion to the country. What we hope to do is set an example for a lot of companies in the world to see how great this place is, right? So that we together can build something that, look, everybody should be doing business in Ghana. People have come up to me and talked about, oh, are you worried that you're bringing competition to Ghana, to Max? You know what I say? Great.
He also spoke about the significance of his business operations in Ghana.
I want competition to come to Ghana because the people of Ghana deserve great business. And if we have competition that comes here, that means more jobs are being created. And if more jobs are being created, that means that we have to raise our game to serve the consumer, to serve the people of Ghana better. And then we hold other corporations and other companies accountable to say, you know what, you treat the people right. If you don't treat the people right, then they're going to work with Max.
He said the company had created many sales and educational materials designed for associates at all levels of experience to champion the company's dream across the globe. So, with the arrival of Mr. Voitiki here in Ghana today, Ghanaians should expect more job opportunities as he plans to expand his business operation, Max International, here in Ghana. Reporting for City Newsroom from the Kosaka International Airport, I am Anita Arthur.
And some good news for businesses. It appears that companies that are struggling to get back on their feet should get access to legal support by the end of the year. This is because the Ghana Association of Restructuring and Insolvency Advisors, GARIA, is anticipating the passage of the Corporate Insolvency Bill by Parliament before it rises by the end of the year. GARIA has been engaging stakeholders on the new bill.
The need for a corporate insolvency bill comes on the back of inadequate support to businesses who are compelled to fold up when they are faced with difficulties of any form. The president of GARIA, Felix Ado, tells City Business News the existing corporate laws are obsolete.
And I believe that it's in the really final stages to have that ready for cabinet. And the Attorney General's office the staff have been working very assiduously and expeditiously to get that to cabinet. So give it a week or two, I can see that moving to cabinet. After it goes to cabinet, cabinet will do its own thing. I'm hoping that given the urgency with which this current administration is looking at improving the ease of doing business and creating jobs and all that, cabinet will act again expeditiously on it and then move to parliament. Yeah.
An insolvency law has also become apparent following recent developments in the financial sector. Already, the Bank of Ghana has revoked the licenses of 7 banks for their inability to overcome their liquidity challenges. Mr. Felix Ado is hopeful of a major turnaround in the fortunes of businesses as they will be able to access legal support to revive them.
If we have corporate insolvency, because of this restructuring or rescue provisions, companies will not be drifting. I guess that's the point we were trying to make, and then go into liquidation. But there will be an honest attempt to restructure them, to turn them around by experts who will do their the very best they can to turn the company around. And that's what I keep saying, that if there is the provision, the new bill in place in terms of administration or Chapter 11, many companies will get the help they need. And that's what we are hoping for.
A change in the laws guiding businesses' fortunes will, among others, position Ghana as a preferred destination for foreign direct investment and reflect the country's ranking in the ease of doing business.
You're still watching the Business Dashboard on City TV. When we get back, we'll bring you the latest from the world of business.
For regular news checks as they unfold. 2020 news, all day, all the time. Politics, sports, entertainment, business, and more. 2020 news. We bring you the world in 20 minutes.
And that's all the news in 20 minutes.
Wherever the weekend sporting action happened, we will bring it to you here on Scorecard. Every goal, every dunk, every punch, the winning strides, and the winning volleys.
International media, he said, look, wait, sit and wait. Let me have a meal with my people. And I think that's the same cool, it's the same organization he brings to the field every time I've seen him play. He looks to me like somebody who has played over 50 caps already. Okay. But this guy has barely played over 25 caps for the national team.
All of the weekend's action in one place. Scorecard, every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. prompt on City TV.
You're welcome back to the Business Dashboard on City TV. My name is Bobby Osei. Some more stories. Now, over the past weeks, a number of banks have seen their licenses revoked as the Bank of Ghana pushes the implementation of the Minimum Capital Requirement Directive. While a number of banks have met the requirements, others are likely to be merged or collapsed. Now, one bank that may not do either of the two is Bank of Baroda. As our checks reveal, the Indian state-owned international bank is likely to pull out of the Ghanaian market over the requirement.
Indian state-owned international bank, Bank of Baroda, was established in Ghana in February 2008, but its existence in Ghana has come under threat following the central bank's directive on the new minimum capital requirement. Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, at the last monetary policy meeting, announced that 15 banks will meet the minimum capital requirement by December this year. The governor, who made the disclosure, explained that already 6 banks have met the new requirement, with 9 others in the process of hitting the mark.
The data that I have shows that you have 6 banks that have met, you have 4 banks that are most likely to meet, you have 5 banks that are likely to meet. So straight away you can say 15 banks are nearly there, 15 are nearly there. 6 we know for sure, 4 that are almost there, 5 that are likely to be there. So for me that says that at the very least, we would have 15 banks, by the end of the year. And then after that, we have those that are likely to merge. You know of 3 of those already. They've announced it already. The GN Bank, the Sahel, and what's the other one? Premium Bank. They've announced that they intend to merge, so we know about that. And then there are the rest that are at various stages of capitalization, and we are confident that most of them would work at.
But come December, it appears Bank of Baroda may be one of the banks that may not meet the requirement. City Business News has learned that the Bank of Baroda, which is one of the best performing foreign banks in the country, is seeking a waiver from the central bank to be exempted from the requirement. But for banking consultants Nanotui Champong, honoring such a request will not be in the best interest of the industry.
From the interactions and reactions from Bank of Ghana, they aim not to make any exception to this rule because this is a total capital requirement, having looked at the risk weight of the whole industry. So therefore, to exclude one probably will be difficult, but the final decision rests with them because if they make an exception to one, what stops them from making an exception to 2, 3, and so on? So I think it will be a tall order to expect that that exemption will be made.
City Business News has gathered that though the bank is willing to raise its capital above the current minimum requirement of 120 million, it believes the 400 million cedi minimum is too high. Sources tell City Business News the board and shareholders of the Indian bank are expected to meet in the first week of September to decide on whether to stay or leave Ghana's banking sector if the Bank of Ghana refuses to yield to their request. Nanotu believes the bank should turn to its headquarters in India for the amount instead of asking for concessions.
Baroda is not a poor bank at all. Their bank is, their parent company is the biggest bank in India. And you know the population of India. So to be the biggest bank, money is not a problem. So my advice to them is, since money is not a problem for them, they should ask head office to bring them the 400 million.
If the bank happens to stay in Ghana after December, it would have to overhaul its business model in the country. That's according to Nanotui Champong.
The only issue is since they came, they've only stuck with one sector of the lending market. Normally, you can lend to both the private sector or the public sector. The public sector is through treasury bills. And if you analyze the accounts, about 95 to 98% of their lending has been buying treasury bills. And so if going forward they get a 400, they should start looking at helping the Ghanaian economy, the private sector, which is the engine of growth for the economy. They should start helping the Ghanaian economy, the Ghanaian business people, by lending to the private sector and not just buying treasury bills. After all, now their treasury bills market is going because government is not selling as many treasury bills or as much treasury bills, and also the interest rate has come down.
Meanwhile, City Business News has gathered management of the bank has ruled out the possibility of merging with another bank to meet the minimum capital requirements by the end of the year.
And that's it for the Business Dashboard on City TV. My name is Bobia Osei. For more news, do visit citybusinessnews.com.